Today's video is sponsored by SecretLab. We all strive for the best possible gaming experience, but the importance of a good quality chair is often underestimated. SecretLab produces some of the most comfortable and high quality gaming chairs you can get. So upgrade your Commander chair today and fly in style and comfort. Follow the link in the video description to their store, type in your height, your weight, and it will tell you which chairs fit you for the best possible seating experience.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Star Citizen Redound with Astronomy. We just got the Constellation Taurus in the game, now ready to fly. Today we're going to take a look at it and we're going to compare it to the Freelancer Max to see which one's the best. But first I just want to start with a quick visual tour. It's being a Constellation, it fits the design scheme of all the other ones. It's very similar, yet there is a few differences. You might, for instance, note the lack of a little extra ship here at the back dock that we usually have. But other than that, the layout is pretty straightforward. We have access to a cargo bay. And again, this is a cargo variant. So we have a nice big cargo ramp coming down here that can fit a decent amount. I think it's the same size as some of the other ones that also has a cargo bay. But as you'll see when we come inside, cargo bay is significantly bigger. But I just want to get this thing in the air. As with all the other Constellation class ships, there is a elevator here towards the front. So let's go inside, let's get this thing flying, and I'll give you a tour first. Just want to talk about the ship's flight characteristics. Just took it out into space, and you can see here it is definitely a heavy ship to fly, and I would say it accelerates pretty well, as you can see here when I remove the throttle limiter and just give it everything, and if we begin to boost, it will accelerate even faster, up to a top speed just over 900 meters a second, which is not sluggish at all for a transport ship. As with all the other Constellation series ships, as you can see here, it does have a very obscured view with this metal grid in front of you. So that's something I'm personally a big fan of, but well, that's what you get when you buy a Constellation. Moving back, we have the exact same layout back here as you have on many of the other ships. You have a little kitchen, we have the little porta potty, toilet, 2 bunk beds with sleeping for 4. And if we move further back, this is of course where the ship begins to differ from some of the other models. We can see here we have direct access to a catwalk around the main cargo grid down here. And this is the bed of that ramp that we saw before, which I believe we do have control to from here. And there you go, we are currently in space, so there's not a whole lot down there. But as you can see, you now have access to open that ramp, you can take on cargo, and you lower the whole, or raise the whole floor back up into the ship. Coming out along the side here on the catwalks, we have access to an airlock if you want to get in and out of the ship. I think it does say that it's an airlock, but it's a little bit too narrow, too small to be an actual airlock. So it's probably more like a docking collar than an actual airlock. We have some missile storage in here for weaponry, and we're going to talk about its weapon characteristics again here in a second. And this whole thing is then mirrored on the opposite side with more missile storage and yet another airlock. As we move further back, we get into the room that is usually reserved for the little fighter. So here we get what I would consider an actual airlock, taking us into the room back here. Now there's not really a whole lot to do in this room here. It is just extra storage. None of these panels, there's not like an extra cargo access ramp or anything like that. I think it would be nice if they could have opened this up for extra access to this room here. But it seems this is just extra storage that you get. That is, I don't know, if you don't want to expose it to vacuum, I guess you can put sensitive cargo in here so that you can lower and open the ramp, which would of course be venting the room back here without having some of the cargo being exposed to the vacuum of space. But let's take a look and let's see how the Constellation Taurus compares to its closest competitor, the Freelancer Max. So you might think this is a weird comparison, but looking at the stats from the homepage, you can see that these two are both classified as medium freight ships. Freelancer Max is slightly wider, but the Constellation is both taller and longer than the Freelancer. In terms of price, we don't have in-game prices yet, so we have to go off from the listed real-life money prices and kind of make a guesstimate based on that. The Constellation with Danish VAT added is 200 US, whereas the Freelancer Max is 187.5 US. So very similar priced. Constellation is going to be probably a little bit more expensive. I believe the Freelancer is around 2.1 million alpha USC in game, so we expect the Constellation to be like 2.5 to 3 million when it becomes available to purchase in game. So what do we get for that extra price? Well, first and foremost, you get more cargo. This is a trade ship after all, so extra cargo is definitely something people will be looking for. The Freelancer Max has 120 SCU of cargo space available, whereas the Constellation Taurus has 174 SCU of cargo. So you get a nice buff there. Also, if we look at the system spec on the ship, we get on the Constellation, we get 2 size 2 coolers. We also get 2 size 2 power plants and a single size 3 shield generator. Comparing that to the Freelancer, we also get 2 size 2 coolers, but we only get a single size 2 power plant, so we only have half the power available on the Freelancer as we do on the Constellation, and instead of the size 3 we get 2 size 2 shield generators. I think overall that should result in a little bit more shield for the Constellation, but of course it comes with the drawback that you're not going to be able to mix and match your shield generators. If you want one with a fast regen and one with a lot of hit points, you're a little bit more limited on the Constellation here, but overall I think you have a slightly better defense on the Constellation. When it comes to firepower, the Freelancer comes with a rear-mounted turret that needs to be controlled by a second player. This is not pilot controlled, and it has 2 size 2 hard points on the side of it. Other than that, it also has the 2 weapon slots on either side of the ship. Each of the weapon slots contains 1 size 3 weapon hard point, and that means in total you get 4 size 3 weapon hard points controllable by the player. On the Constellation, you also get a manned turret with 2 size 2 weapons, just as the Freelancer does. But you also, towards the rear of the ship, you get 4 size 5 hard points that you can either fit size 4 gimbal weapons on or size 5 fixed weapons on. This gives the Constellation an absolutely insane amount of firepower. This thing will definitely bite. So if you are afraid of pirates stealing your cargo, well, I'll be pretty sure they will be thinking twice before attacking a Constellation Taurus, because those 4 size 5 hardpoints is definitely going to wreck someone's day if they sit still in front of it for too long. But do let me know in the comment section which ship you prefer, and if you want more Star Citizen content, then also please remember to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.